4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Yo, yo, yo!
Super Smash Brothers!
Welcome to Waveland podcast. Thanks for tuning in. It's boy Apollo, aka the last Nairbender. I'm stupid. Third episode. Today I want to kind of focus on version 2.0 and our new character, Piranha Plant. Is everybody enjoying the plant as much as I am? He's a very, very fun character. So I basically kind of want to go over like what I think his most optimal moves are. I want to go into a little bit of frame data, kind of like a basic pseudo guide tutorial on how to kind of, at this point, maybe play him the best he could be played. He's only been out for almost 2 weeks, so the meta for him obviously hasn't developed super far, but we're going to try to get through that today. So, starting off, basically, some people data mined, I'm sorry if I forgot your name, some people data mined version 2.0 before it came out, and data mined some information about the DLC characters, and it was thought that Piranha Plant was going to be the slowest character in the game. Luckily, though, it didn't turn out to be 100% true. It's a fairly slow walk speed, but his dash speed is not the slowest, and it's really not terrible. He has decent movement. His air acceleration, his air movement is not the best. It's not entirely favorable. He doesn't move like Wario or Game & Watch or Jigs through the air. He's got a frame 2 jab, so that is pretty useful. It's one of the faster jabs in the game. I was impressed by that. It's just, he doesn't have a whole lot of range with his jab or his grab as well, due to his tiny little plant arms. Is a good option, like a good get off me tool. It will pack on a little bit of damage too with his rapid jab. His grab, like I said, it's frame 6. He doesn't have a whole lot of range with it. Of course, the pivot grab has a little bit more range. But frame 6 grab, tied for one of the fastest grabs in the game, along with Link. Now that Link doesn't have a tether, he also has a frame 6 grab. We'll start with the tilts. His forward tilt, I think it is frame 7 forward tilt. There's 2 hits to it. If you hit it, the attack button twice, it is a good, just quick way to rack on a little bit of chip damage. Follow your two frame jab with it is a quick way to get some damage. His down tilt doesn't have a whole lot of range, but this will be one of your main combo starters. It sends them up in the air in front of you a little bit, about on the average weight character, about halfway up Piranha Plant's body, the length of his body. The down tilt comes out at frame 9. It's, like I said, it's going to be basically your combo starter. You could do down tilt to forward air at early mid percents. You could do down tilt to dash up tilt, or dash up smash as a confirm at higher percent. His up tilt has 2 hitboxes, one on the front, one on the back. The front hitbox, I believe, comes out frame 9, and the back hitbox comes out at frame 8. So, if you're gonna use this, it'll hit behind you a little bit quicker. So you could do possibly an up tilt to pivot grab. It's a decent anti-air. As far as utility, though, it basically is just that, anti-air. For his specials, we'll go with his specials. His neutral B is a super interesting move. It is like the spiky ball. I think the move's called Patooey, because he blows this spiky ball out of his mouth, and if you hold B, he holds it above him. And if you press to one of the sides, he gives like a blow, and he shoots that spiky ball. The trick with that is you'll want to get the max distance and damage. You'll want to press to the side whenever the ball is going to land closer to P-Plant's lips, because then it's closer to the gust of air and it goes farther. Let me see. You could do things such as it's another good anti-air. You could hold it out. Like I said, if you hold B, it's basically just a constant hitbox hovering above your character. It's a really interesting move because I think personally it has a lot of utility. It's almost like a pseudo counter, because if you're keeping it hovering above you, then say Marth runs in with a dash attack. Once he hits P-Plant, that ball's gonna fall back down onto him. So it's good for semi-trades. It's a great anti-air. It's if you get towards the ceiling, it's a good. You could up air into the neutral B, the Patooey, and you could get a kill off the top. It just basically has a lot of utility. It's a good combo finisher. You could up air into neutral B at lower percents and even at mid percents, and possibly follow up or just finish the combo. But I think it's a move that has a lot of utility. His down B, he basically I don't have the name for it right in front of me. He retreats into his little pot, and it's kind of a charge move, and he stays into his pot and then extends himself about twice the length of his body, depending on how long you charge it for. He has super armor when he retreats into the pot, and you could tip the pot either way. So it comes out of frame 18 if you don't charge it. It's a decent move. You could find some uses for it. If you're right on the edge, you can down B and then tip off of the stage and kind of catch your opponent off guard with a kind of a snipe from the edge. It's a decent edge guarding tool. As long as you don't overuse it, you could maybe land with it. If you're tipping a certain way, the problem is it takes time to tilt. And if your opponent has even gotten used to playing the Piranha Plant matchup, then they're going to know how to get around that, how to parry it. And as the meta develops and people get better at parrying, it will be kind of safe fully charged because of the distance you get from it. The reach, I think it'll lose its usefulness over time. But if you don't charge it, it does 16% damage, and like I said, it has super armor, so it's not a bad tool as long as you don't overuse it and condition your opponents to see it a lot, because they're going to pretty much be able to counter it. So in a best of 3 set, I would possibly wait until the second game or the third game to use it. His side B, the Poison Cloud, this is a really interesting move. You You could charge it. It's a charging move. It has a lot of uses in my opinion. The Poison Cloud itself doesn't do any knockback to your opponent, but uncharged it does 28%. Fully charged with every hit it will do 56%. So that's pretty crazy. You could set it up at the ledge for somebody with a predictable recovery such as Cloud, Marth, King K. Rool to get that little bit of extra damage. You could, if they're far down close to the blast zone, you could jump off stage, blow a fully charged Poison Cloud right under the ledge, and they'll have to recover right through it, and it'll tack on a good 12 to 22 damage just passing through it. Do any knockback, so it's going to be a little bit odd for you. You're going to have to lab it out and do a little bit of trial and error for to see when exactly the move's going to be necessary. You could B-reverse the poison charge, so that's kind of cool. It charges kind of like Cloud's limit, so you could charge it in the air a little bit, jump out of it. You could charge it a little bit on the ground, shield or parry out of it. It's really cool because a fully charged Poison Cloud will just straight up fucking destroy somebody's shield. So it's really hard to shield against. I think it has a lot of cool utility that you don't see out of a lot of other moves. You can use it to hide behind and charge up a down B. Not super practical, but it's able to be done. Like I said, it'll break shield. It's a really fun move, and it takes a lot of labbing to figure out different uses for it, but it can apply to a lot of different situations. And finally, we'll go to his up B, his recovery move. His recovery goes a pretty stupid long distance. His up B, obviously. It's kind of similar to King K. Rool's, although the hitboxes are around P-Plant. His head is not a hitbox, so you can be susceptible to certain spikes or moves that'll hit the top of his head. If you get a certain combo going, preferably on like a battlefield or a platform stage, you could do a combo. You could end the combo with an up B and ladder them off the top of the ceiling. But otherwise, you're just going to really be using it to recover, and you're going to kind of want to recover kind of diagonally up, so that way your head isn't really like facing directly at the opponent where they could hit it with a projectile or perhaps hit it with the sword. And the thing to note about his specials, besides the up B, is they all make him air stall, so you can kind of play a little bit of games in the air with your timing to kind of mix that up, and that almost can make up for your lack of air acceleration. Speaking of the P-Plant's air game, we'll start with his Nair. It's a frame 8 Nair. It's kind of similar to Ivysaur's. I think Ivysaur's is better, personally, but you could do things like drag down Nair. There is a little bit of space once you drag them down when the move's ending. There's a little bit, it doesn't auto cancel, so there is a little bit of landing lag that somebody with a very fast move or a frame 1 or 2 move can possibly get a hit in and break up that drag down combo that you're trying to attempt. But Nair comes out at frame 8. You could do things, it's a hitbox all around him. He kind of turns to the side and spins all of his leaves around him. It's decent to get some damage. Like I said, you could do something like drag down Nair into rapid jab, or drag down Nair into both hits of F-tilt, and that'll get you a little bit of decent damage. Back air, it kind of reminds me of Charizard's back air, really, where he kind of has this little like fiery explosion behind him. So obviously it has a fire proponent to it, so you can use it. It's kind of a slow aerial. I believe back air comes out at frame 14. It's really powerful, though. It'll kill at, I think it starts killing at about 110% without rage to an average to heavy opponent. Has like I said, it has the fire property to it, so you can break Simon's down B. You could break Samus's missiles and such. It's really good. Like a fast fall bear it's really good against smaller opponents like Meta Knight, Kirby, Pichu. His forward air, his fair, comes out at frame 11. He basically kind of like whips his little pot out in front of him. It's a decent move. It's a decent combo extender. You can kind of down tilt and fair at I want to say like kind of mid percents from like 20% up. Aerial that it hits higher up in the air, so it's better around big opponents. It's a decent aerial. It does do a decent amount of damage. Nothing too spectacular or anything. When the opponent's above 80%, you could fair fast fall and do an up smash for a confirm. His down air comes out at frame 9 and has a really small hitbox that spikes. You'll kind of want to spike them when they're at 50% or above, because it's a fairly strong down air. But other than that, you're just going to have to lab it out and really make sure you can hit that sweet spot for the spike as often and as consistently as you can if you're going to plan on maining the plant. And his up air, in my opinion, is his most useful and his best aerial. Comes out at frame 7. It kind of auto-cancels too, so you could do fast fall up air. It does a decent amount of damage, has good range. Honestly, this will be your most choice aerial. All right, his smash attacks are all pretty decent. They're all pretty useful. His F smash, I think it comes out at frame 16. It does 22% with the sweet spot, 18 with the sour spot. It starts killing around 80%, 85, 95 to 100 if they could DI pretty well. It's got decent range. He basically pulls back and swings his big fat plant head forward with spikes coming out of it. So it does have some use. It'll reach off the ledge. His down smash, he kind of spins around him. It sort of reminds me of... It's on a side note, kind of all of Piranha Plant's moves look kind of similar to other moves in the game, especially his smashes and aerials. But his down smash, he does kind of like this little breakdance spin thing, kind of similar to... Oh, shit. Kind of similar to, like, Sonic's, I think. Well, Sonic does the splits. Kind of similar to Mario's, actually. Comes out at frame 12. The back hit of it is stronger than the front hit. And it'll reach off the ledge too. So that's a pretty good place to use it. Otherwise, it's probably my least used smash attack for P-Plant. Probably, honestly, his most used and most useful smash attack is going to be its up smash. Comes out at frame 12. I think it'll start killing at about 75 to 85, depending on their weight and DI, of course. You could end some combos with it. It's a great anti-air, and you can catch people off guard. It beats out a lot of moves, so it'll beat a lot of trades. Like I said earlier, he's got a frame 6 grab, which is pretty dope. That's pretty fast for the plant. But he's got stubby little plant arms, so he doesn't have great reach on it. But he's got a frame 6 grab, so you could do something like a drag down nair into grab. His grab game isn't honestly terrible. His down throw can combo into a forward air at mid percents. Let me see. His down throw can you could down throw at higher percents and do a quick dash into up smash for a confirm. Let's see. His up throw, this will be more of your combo throw. You could up throw into neutral B. You could up throw into fast fall up air, and get a decent combo going off of that. You could, like I said, end your combo after the up airs with the neutral B, and that's a decent amount of damage. His forward and back throws, nothing like really, honestly, too impressive or noteworthy. Basically just to get a little bit of damage or mainly to reset the spacing situation. So as far as playstyle, I would, he's a really decent bait and punish. You can play around the ledge pretty well with P-Plant. He's got some really good defensive options in a game that doesn't necessarily discourage defensive play, but more so rewards offensive play. He really rewards good spacing due to the range on some of his special attacks and smash attacks. And as far as tier placement is concerned, I'm not really too positive about the tier list at the moment because the game has been out for 2 months tomorrow. So, but if I had to put him somewhere, due to his weight and survivability and way he could tack on damage, and you could really play him in a few different styles and be pretty optimal with him, I would put him at the high spot of mid tier or at the bottom of high tier. I just think the plant's got a lot of options, and he's an awkward character to play against. He's got good damage output, number of killing moves, and just all around really fun character to play. And I love him a lot. He's probably like the 6th character I've put the most time into, and that should tell you something. He's only been out for a few weeks, so I like the P-Plant. I hope everybody else does. This was basically a little basic guide. Have fun playing him. Listen to the podcast every Tuesday and Thursday, and my music production live stream every Sunday, the Focus Hour. It's boy Apollo and Gaga. Peace out, Plant Gang. Smash on.